going now to i24 News culture correspondent Shachar Peled. Shachar, you actually have, a solution for us, don't you?
Yes. Well, first of all, Yael, would you consider living on a bus?
Never.
How about a truck?
Okay, there's a limit.
Okay, so, alternative housing solutions have become a very creative and efficient way for some Israelis to live. And I went to see for myself, so let's first
take a
see
look.
the piece.
Meet Yossi Tayar. It might seem as if he's driving a truck, but Yossi is actually driving his house. As he was turning 50, Yossi decided to cut his ties with the regular way of living and move into a mobile facility, allowing him to live wherever he wants, whenever he wants.
The title of this entire story is Freedom. Freedom from a lot of things.
A professional animator, Yossi illustrated his vision and quickly brought it to life, building it all with both hands.
This is my bedroom. Here on this side I have extra storage space and a table that fits perfectly when anyone wants to sit in the living room. A toilet, and up here is my daughter's room, Shira. There's a small library with her favorite books and her computer.
Yossi invested almost $200,000 in his new home, but says it could easily be done with less. This is true in the case of Avishai Reuven, who's been living in a bus for the past 2 months, at a cost of $25,000 for the entire project.
This is it's a very good idea. It changed my life from four walls to nature and to the sea. So it's the best.
Avishai encountered the bus for sale by chance, and after paying rent in Tel Aviv for the past 5 years, he decided this new way of living might suit him.
I don't think about money every day like in Tel Aviv. And this is good.
All over the world, people are trying to fight the increasing cost of living in original ways. Recently in London, the soaring rent and spiraling bills have sent people to live in shipping containers. For the Israeli creative mind, converting a vehicle into a home doesn't seem like such a strange idea.
If you want to live in car or truck or bus, somebody can tell you not to live, why not?
This alternative way of life may be very effective for money saving, but it also comes at a price. Many people would find it difficult living isolated without any neighbors or without basic facilities, for example, a sewage system.
Wait a minute, the drain? Where does it all go? You'll empty a container. Oh my God, Yossi. What a life you'll have, oh God. I don't want to hear that.
Most people are afraid. Whatever separates them from their dreams is a bit of courage, and they'd rather go with the fear and the routine and being like everyone else.
As long as the houses stay mobile, the authorities let them be. In the meantime, Yossi dreams of an eco-village on wheels. Until then, a temporary front view of the sea will have to suffice.
Okay, hold on.
Well, now what do you think? Would you like now to live in a bus?
I think that, well, I think that Yossi, who is very good with his hands, and I love the little room that he made. I can see that he's probably living as a single man.
Yes, it's quite difficult. Well, first of all, on a general note, I think that the dream of owning property has become sort of a nightmare all over the world, not only in Israel.
True.
And there are people struggling to find any home at all. We've actually checked in Israel since 2008, prices of apartments have been soaring. There's an increase of 48% in second-hand apartments and 35% in first-hand apartments. And according to the latest OECD report of 2012, it puts Israel on the top index of a number of salaries that is needed in order to buy an apartment, 135 salaries, compared to France, for example, with 74, or the UK with 75, the US with 64. This is a big number of salaries. Yeah. Yes, this is twice as much salaries needed. But not only in Israel, people are looking, single people are looking for creative and alternative ways ways of living. As we've seen in London, there's the new project of the shipping containers.
No, I mean,
Once
to
again,
me,
it's not for
fascinating because,
families,
you know, in
but-
the UK, I think in the 90s, you know, we mentioned it throughout your piece, in the 90s, I remember seeing people in London moving onto boats.
Right, so-
Because it was cheaper, but now you're moving into the container?
Well, boats has become a mainstream, and shipping containers, it doesn't facilitate families, but for single people or for couples that are struggling to
Yeah.
find housing, this is a very good solution.
Mind you, this is not new. I'm sorry to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but in Japan, if I remember correctly, they used to live in drawers, you know, like in pretty much like little...
In drawers?
Yeah, well, in
that is-
Japan they can do that in
Yeah.
closets and in drawers, but
they pull
for
the drawers out.
unflexible societies, well, in the States it's actually called brown bag housing, where they take an already existing non-residential structure and they modify it for housing
Right.
and without changing or modifying the exterior. So we can see people living in garages and sheds and commercial stores even that were converted into
And
housing.
in Israel, when you said, you know, that, you know, Yossi who's living, what was the other guy's name?
Avishai, living in a bus.
Yeah, I
yes.
think they, but who, yeah. There was another
Yossi
thing.
has actually been living in his truck for already 3 years. So this is something that, you know, he takes us all around. He lives in Jaffa, he lives in the north of Israel. He actually moves and has been living there happily with his daughter for the past 3 years.
No, it's
So-
fascinating and compelling, but I mean, is this something that can catch on to the rest of the population? At the end of the day, Nikki, you're not going to take your 2 girls and move into a car, right?
No,
Probably
it's
not.
a bit difficult.
Yeah.
But once again, the people living in tents, special tents called yurt, the traditional in Central Asia, and people are living them for many years.
Right.
The people in Amsterdam, for example, they took dock areas and converted them to the residential areas. So this is something that is happening all over the world. And of course, there's RVs. Some aren't that cheap. If we look at
what are the numbers?
Yes. Well, if you happen to have a few $1 million, then you can check out the Marchi Mobile's Element Palazzo. It's a rolling mansion, which is the world's most
Wow.
expensive RV. Yes, it costs just $3 million.
That moves? That thing moves?
Yeah, no, that's a container, actually.
Sorry, that's a container, yeah. I was like,
But
excuse me.
if we did have the footage of the RV, you'd see it includes a wireless command center and a retractable rooftop and a bedroom and a kitchen and a master suite. This thing,
That's the Mercedes. No, it's beyond the Mercedes.
Exactly.
It's
It's beyond the
all
Mercedes.
That would be
of
okay.
RVs.
That would be
Absolutely.
okay.
That's
Only $3
fine.
million.
But I have a feeling that
for
people who have that also have the $20 million home
Mansion.
in Beverly Hills.
Absolutely.
That's just so they can feel at home when they travel around.
Yes, no doubt about
in
it.
terms of the, you know, authorities, such as, you know, in Tel Aviv, when you have something, is there any problem with, you know, moving your house around? Because at the end of the day,
Well, they have been receiving notice once it's not mobile, and the guy Avishai living in
Exactly.
northern Israel with a beautiful view to the sea. Once he stays there for a week or two, then inspectors come and give him notice or sort of a warning that he must move. He takes it for 4 days to another place and then relocates back to the beautiful view
For
on the
view,
cliff. Yes,
yeah.
and it's definitely worth it for his sake because
Yeah, for his sake,
he just needs to move
Because there are
around
no,
the bus.
Yeah, there are no facilities yet in Israel to accommodate such big
Right.
trucks,
Right,
unlike
I mean,
you know
that's true.
Australia or New
Or the
Zealand
United
or
States,
Europe.
Yes,
they
and
have-
they're also quite afraid that people will say, this is my property, now I'm
Right,
staying here, I've been
right,
living
right.
here for a
Squatting.
few years, so yes, this is my cliff, I'm not moving. So they
that's
come...
something that they tend to do quite a lot in the
Yes.
Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want any more settlements.
Yes.
So authorities are definitely looking out for these kinds of villages
Yeah.
people are trying to put on
Oh
wheels.
my God, fascinating, Shachar. Thank you. I think we're going to stay in. I'm going to say my overpriced rented apartment. But thank you guys for joining me this morning.